I've done a few of these on the channel before. They're insanely lucrative in a bull cycle, and that is talking about upcoming new token launches, tokens that don't even exist in the real world yet. You can't invest in them, but you can invest in them before the public get access through launch pads such as Seedify or ChainGPT or Synapse Network. Now, why do we care about these? Well, let me show you their track records. We are over on CryptoRank, a very helpful tool for breaking down upcoming launches and the vesting periods of any token that has just launched. If we click on all-time ROI, this is basically, I've typed in Seed there, but it's not Seedify. This is all launch pads. We go by all-time high ROI, you can see you've had the classic 700x return on your money from Blocktopia, 200x almost on CryptoMeta, CryoWar. These are all, as you can see, the last bull market here, 2021's. The best so far is the ChainGPT launch, which is a launch pad launching on top of a launch pad, which is kind of funny. But you can see that has had a 70x ROI. So put $1,000 in, $70,000 return. But there is an asterisk on that, and I'll tell you about that in a second. At the moment, it is sitting at about a 39x. But what about the even more recent ones, the ones that were featured here on this channel just a couple of weeks ago? So if we want to go by the date that it's been ended, we featured Block Games, Gaimin, Bloodloop, Castle Blackwater. I participated in most of these myself. I think 3 out of those. Everything but Block, I believe I didn't participate in, but I might be mistaken there. Gaimin came out the gates with a 12x. And if we get into Gaimin over here, you can see it's skyrocketed from the 0.0006 all the way up. I mean, look at the top of the candle there to 0.04 basically. And now it's settling in and sort of starting to die. I did a video on Gaimin on this channel, just talking about the absurdity of this fully diluted value. Saw a lot of comments being like, oh, you don't understand the utility of this fully diluted value. You're right, I haven't dug that deep, but are you buying it right now? That's what I want to see. If you can send me a receipt of you buying Gaimin with this dilution to come, and you can buy 10 grand worth, I will listen to how you think this is going to have a lot of utility. But at least for me, it's like, this is a scary buy to recommend to anybody with that amount of dilution. So if you're on CryptoRank like I am, you can come over to the token sale or the vesting period. The vesting page I've gone through again on this channel before, where you can see when the unlocks happen and how much actually happens. A really awesome tool. But if you come over to token sale, you can see what sort of deal people got when they were actually allocated. So we invested on Seedify. Now we are officially sponsored by Seedify on this channel. They're our only official sponsor. So shout out to Seedify and thank you to them. And if you also invested into Gaimin through the Seedify token generation event, that's what TGE stands for, you would get elevated 12% of your token upon the event of it launching. So let's just put some numbers to this so it all makes sense. If you put $800 in and they unlocked 12% or $100 and it did a 12x, you can take $1,200 out the moment that it launches, which is why normally these tokens and people like Alex Becker say don't buy in straight away because there's a lot of liquidity that is going to be sold off. You can take $1,200 out and then you get paid out over the next 8 months as the rest of the 12% unlock, basically a passive income. Now, is there any certainty that this fully diluted value is not just going to crash this all the way back down to here? No, but if you're already broken even or close to it and you've got 8 more payments to go, it's a pretty lucrative deal to make. The same thing happened over at Castle Blackwater. You can see a very similar shaped graph. It is having a little bit of a pullback here as well. There's about a 20x dilution on this one. So this seems to be the trend. And for me personally, I don't like to make personal recommendations, but it's very hard to make profit, I think, with these tokens if you're not participating in the seed rounds, just because the dilution seems to be pretty extreme in this cycle. But I participated in this one and you actually got 20% unlock and it did a 5 point something X. Let's have a look, Castle Blackwater, 5.52X, meaning once again, you make your seed investment back in the first month. You can sell that for Ethereum or Dogecoin or whatever you want to invest in long term, and then just take that passive income for the next few months as you get paid out. Now, where I've personally gone the hardest, and I really have my fingers crossed because we don't have the launch yet, although it has closed, you can no longer get in. So we went pretty hard into Bloodloop. So if you're in Bloodloop with me, let's keep our fingers crossed that we can see. Ideally, I'd love to see something up here, but I'll settle for a double-digit X on that one. Okay, so we know why we would invest in seed rounds. So let's get onto 3 upcoming token launches that you can get into. It's open for seed investing right now that could potentially do very well or copy the results that some of these really good launches have done. And starting with what could be one of the best looking upcoming games, it's called Exverse. Exverse is an AI-powered free-to-play shooter backed by Seedify and KuCoin Labs. with intricate lore and novel gameplay systems, all built on Unreal Engine 5. Exverse was designed from the ground up by a team with major experience in the gaming industry. I'll show you what that experience looks like in a second, with a heavy focus on competitive mechanics, which is always good for gaming. There seems to be 3 different Exverse planets, which I believe is the style of play or game modes. We have a social planet, you have a quest planet, which is the adventure mode, I'm guessing, and the battle planet, so the battle royale. Their graphics look really good. They have 2 tokens. Now, a little bit more personal advice, which feel free to do your own research on, but in my experience, when you have 2 currencies, you have an in-game token, which normally has no market cap limit. So they basically are printing this every single day or every single month, sort of like the Smooth Love Potion in Axie. This one tends to inflate beyond all reasonable means and really lose a lot of value. I don't want to ever put a lot of money into an in-game currency. But the governance system, when you looked at Stepan or something, this was the one that flew when the project took off. So this is the one that I will personally be looking into investing in. Something that is intriguing about this is they really do have a pretty stacked team. So you can come over to their light paper, they call it, which is well laid out, very aesthetic, quite pleasing to look through. They have a lot of expertise in the crypto field, but then also the gaming field, which, I mean, this is what they're doing. They're doing a crypto game and they're bringing the best minds in gaming, the best minds in crypto, merging them together and trying to launch a really awesome AAA style game. Now, their team has experience working on Call of Duty, Halo, and Apex Legends. 3 really big games not in the crypto world, so I'm hoping they can bring some of that talent. Their token allocation for the seed round raises at a value of $9.2 million. You can see when they launch, they're going to have about a $500,000 market cap circulating and a $24 million fully diluted value. Again, there's going to be a lot of dilution to come, but that is a relatively small total market cap. The other thing I really liked about Exverse, apart from it looking like a really good game with a stacked team, is they have a section of their light paper, which is refreshing in the Web3 space, that is called Revenue Stream. Wow, who would have thought a business that actually wants to make an income? So they're going to take transaction fees, they're doing advertising revenue and marketplace sales, which will all provide them a sense of income if they can scale this game to the point that they want it to be at. And this takes us to the second upcoming launch this month, Evermoon. Now, we have talked about Evermoon a few times on this channel already, and it is a blockchain League of Legends / Dota style game incubated by Seedify. They have quite a few high caliber partners. You can see Merit Circle, now known as Beam, Immutable X, Seedify, you got Chainlink down here. Now, you do have to sort of be careful. Sometimes you want to look into what a partnership actually means, because I saw a tweet this morning on Twitter when they were talking about VeChain having a partnership with McDonald's, which meant VeChain had told McDonald's that they were going to supply their team with McDonald's burgers, where people thought the McDonald's were going to be using VeChain for payment. So always be a little bit skeptical when you see partners. A lot of them are just going to be early investors, which is, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Evermoon do already have a very big following, which I think is a good thing when it gets launched on a launch pad at 156,000 followers. They say that they're a next generation 5v5 3-lane MOBA and esport. Experience the revolution with Web3, incubated, of course, by Seedify, accelerated by KBank, Lives, Catalyst, and this is their token ticker here, EVM. And that brings us to the third incubated token. It's not actually a game, and it looks very interesting. It's called EstateX, especially considering the narrative at the moment around what's called RWAs, or real world assets. Why is this a big narrative? Because BlackRock, obviously the people who processed the first ETFs for Bitcoin, have a $100 million fund to invest in tokens that provide RWAs, real world assets, which is essentially, in EstateX's case, tokenizing real estate. So you have a house that you can buy and sell. How do you know that someone owns that house at the moment? I mean, honestly, it's just like a piece of paper or file on a computer at a centralized server in some government somewhere saying that this person bought the house last. It's kind of prehistoric and archaic, even just to think about. So tokenizing everything in the real world is going to be massive, from ticket sales to cars and marriages, and everything is going to be on the blockchain because it's publicly verifiable. But more importantly, for something like EstateX, they say that the core, sorry, real quick, as we scroll past here, they also secured a Microsoft grant, and their partners, trusted partners, are pretty big deals. What I wanted to come down to all the way down here, when you say what is EstateX, it's allowing people to tokenize a real estate property. So say you buy a building in Sydney, Australia. And at the moment, it's like you either buy the whole building or you raise money and pool it together to buy the building. Now the person who owns the building can tokenize it on the blockchain and sell like minuscule parts of that. You could own $1,000 worth of that skyscraper in Sydney. They describe how they work as the main thing is it's that simple, which gives us no info at the moment, but you keep reading and they say you set up your account in minutes, you can instantly start investing into real estate. We tokenize real estate to make it accessible to everyone while keeping the financial returns that make real estate attractive. In simple terms, go create your account, go to the property of your choice and start investing, which I mean, it is pretty amazing if they do make it that simple. They say that EstateX is powered by a lot of amazing technologies with Polygon, the blockchain, the layer 1 Polygon, at the center of it. Security tokens are issued in a completely regulated environment for maximum investor protection, with the amazing additions of payment card right here, where you can actually just obviously use it, I'm guessing like a Visa card. It will take over this old-fashioned industry by storm. Which the intriguing thing is, if I can understand this properly, you can own a piece of a skyscraper in a city, have those tokens be on this card, and then you can go, and they've got Netflix here as an example, but you can go and buy a stake with a portion of your building, which is pretty amazing, pretty phenomenal, and adding a lot of liquidity to normally assets that aren't liquid, like a house or a building or a piece of real estate. Now, their roadmap here, we are not going through this, but I just wanted to show you that it is insanely intricate and detailed, which is good to look at. And they're obviously ticking them off as they go, so you can come have a detailed look at that. They also have a pretty large following over here with 160,000 followers. They say they're a Web3 disruptor, revolutionizing the future of property investment and ownership. Let me know what your thoughts are on these 3 upcoming launches. Are you participating? Are you not? And if you want to get ahead of the mainstream, we do have an inner circle. The link is in the description below. This is where we discuss potential awesome upcoming launches, find underrated tokens, and we track influencers' wallets to see what project they're buying into before they shill it to their millions of followers, so you can get ahead of the mainstream and give yourself the best chance to making as much money as possible in this bull run. I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next video.